live on the air. I'm Richard Saile.
This is wild.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Loungetime. I'm your host, Rich Saile, and today we are entering the last quarter of the season. Week 14 is in the books. Week 15 started last night with the Rams 49ers. I made my pick. Did not expect that type of game of an under. That might be a game where I'm going to talk about pretty quickly. So you're not going to hear me talk a lot about this Thursday night game. However, though, we're going to talk a little more college football because your boy over here is going to give his college football playoff predictions. The official bracket came out on Sunday. I have thought about who I'm going to pick, and I wanted to see like matchups and the path for everybody that I was interested a little bit. And I have a good idea of who I'm going to take. Now, again, I gotta see if I can get a picture of how I want the bracket to be. Maybe what I'll do is I'll probably get somebody to kind of make one for me, and then I can post it on X, Twitter. You guys all know the point. That's kind of what I'm thinking, but I might as well just say it on here when I do go over the college football playoff picks, because next Friday they're going to be starting, and your boy's going to have some special guests over, which might mean lounge time. We're going to have some special people over, okay? I'm working on some deals right now, okay, where I can bring back, you guys know, one of our favorites. Johan was already here. I want to get him on for the playoffs, but he really wants to roast the cheap bandwagons again, and I'm like, they're going to get the 1 seed. But I'm going to save it, because I got more thoughts there. But he wants to come back down so bad because he loves y'all as a community, okay? And plus, he loves the show. Plus, this is a maybe, I might get another fan favorite. Cousin Nikki might be potentially on Loungetime. I'm going to talk to him. I want to make sure. Okay, I don't know. All right, I got to make sure. I'm not going to promise anything, but he might be on Loungetime. All right. I haven't had him on this year. I know he's always a fan favorite as well. He always gets his high-rated episodes. Every time he's on, I got to bring the dude back, man, okay? But anyway, more teams are out of the playoffs. For those of you that don't know, anybody that's out of the playoffs, I don't care about them. Throw them away. Done. Done talking about them for the year. Unless we got to talk about something like a crazy head coaching firing or resign, which we actually had a couple last year with Seattle, New England, and Alabama, which leads into my first thing I want to talk about today. And this was big news in the last 48 hours, and I want to talk about this briefly. Bill Belichick has agreed to a deal where he is now going to be coaching college football, the North Carolina Tar Heels. Yes, this is true. They just had the press conference yesterday. I couldn't believe it when I heard it. I know. 5 years, $50 million. Okay. That makes him one of the highest paid coaches in college football. Did I ever think in my wildest dreams that Bill Belichick would ever take a college football job? No, I did not. But I've got to say, a little funny that he's going to the school that Drake May went to, when he really wasn't the biggest Drake May fan on the Pat McAfee show when he was on the Draftcast or whatever the hell that is, right? He wasn't a fan of Drake May on his board. So I thought that was a little funny that he's going to the same school that he really did not like Drake May at all and that Drake May went to. So I think it's cool, though. I'm not going to lie. I actually want to see how he does there. This reminds me a lot of what Deion Sanders was doing and is doing now in Colorado because, listen, I know the man had ruined Mac Jones. I know y'all remember me for more of my Bill Belichick rants. I know. I was one that wanted him out because he was ruining the Patriots franchise to the ground. I know. But I can't lie. I kind of want to see how he does in North Carolina. Because I feel like part of me is thinking, is it going to be the same thing that he did in the NFL offensively? Like, is it going to be that bad? Because college football is, I don't want to say a young man's game, because you still see guys that are really good recruits, like finding ways to kind of get people. But I feel like most of the good coaches now are young coaches. Lane Kiffin, Sarkisian, Ryan Day's young, Dan Lanning's young. I don't think James Franklin's that young, but he's not that old either. Like, a lot of the great coaches are young coaches. Kirby is what? 40s? I think. But, I mean, it's a young man's game. I mean, but hey, Bill's earned the right to do whatever he wants to do. I'm actually excited to see how he does in college football. I'm not going to lie. However, that's not going to make me a North Carolina Tar Heels fan. I do root for the man, but that's not going to be my college football team. I have to figure out who my team's going to be because your boy needs to go to a college football team where he absolutely hates their arch rivals. Now, people are going to be like, well, Rich, which teams do you not like? Easy. I don't like Alabama. I don't like Ohio State. Oh, then why aren't you a Michigan fan? Michigan had a couple good years with Harbaugh, right? I like Sharon more, but I don't know. I just... I don't dislike him. I just don't know if that's the team I can say, there it is. I don't know if I could go there yet. That's why your boy's playing College Football 25, playing College Ultimate Team, Dynasty, because your boy's trying to see who his team is going to be. I don't have one. Okay, I will be watching the playoff because I love scouting players, especially with my New England Patriots being the third pick. Plus, I want to see some guys that I think are going to be high prospects in the draft. And while we're on the subject, let's go to college football because I want to go over the playoff bracket, but I want to wrap up the thoughts on Bill Belichick going to North Carolina. I am excited to see how he does. I don't think he's going to be... Do I think he's going to win a national title there? If you get the recruits, man, because Deion Sanders got recruits. And if Deion Sanders got recruits, people want to play for the greatest coach of all time. I just don't see why anybody would not want to. Okay? And trust me, there's another reason we all know that he went to North Carolina. You guys know why? Because guess who else he coached that went to North Carolina? Hey, he's one of his favorite players of all time. Lawrence Taylor was from North Carolina. So does that mean that LT and Belichick are going to get together during pregame on the field? I would fucking love that. Bro, I don't know the last time Lawrence Taylor went to a North Carolina game, but dude, especially now that he knows Belichick's going to be the head coach over there. Oh, dude. Dude, that's going to happen at least once, dude. I'm telling you. LT and Belichick on the sideline pregame before a North Carolina football home game, that would be so gas. That's going to happen, too. That's going to happen. But I'm excited to see how he does. I want to see how many big-name recruits he's able to get. But him and Deion Sanders, man, they're going to get people. All right, Belichick's going to get people to go play for him in North Carolina. Trust me. The man, listen, I did not like the way he ruined Mac Jones. I did not like the way he did not get him offensive talent. But I'm going to give him hopefully a chance to finally hope that he learned exactly how big of receivers he needs. Because you're going to need receivers. College football is becoming more of an arms race with NIL and transfer portal. Bill loves roster rebuilding. Does he love roster rebuilding every year? That's what I want to see. Because that's what kind of wears you out. But the man bleeds football. He loves sweats, tears, football. That's what he does. Okay? So, again, I think he'll be just fine. The only problem I'm worried about is offensively, are they going to be good? That's what I'm worried about. Because in college football, you need explosive offenses to be a national championship team. You do. I don't know if Bill's going to have that. But very curious to see how he does in college. I'm sorry. I never would have thought in my wildest dreams he would probably finish coaching his career in college. I really never thought that. Of North Carolina, wow. Hey, man. They're gonna be must-see TV, man. They're gonna be must-see TV. So while we're still on the topic of college football, I do want to talk about the college football playoff bracket. Now, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can make my own bracket. I don't know if I can, but I'm gonna read it off here because I have the bracket in front of me. So here's how we're gonna do this. I'm gonna go in order of the games that are played. So we're going to work our way from the bottom of the bracket to the top. So we're going to start off with the Indiana-Notre Dame game. The winner of this game would versus Georgia. Now, Notre Dame is 7.5-point favorites according to, I think it's ESPN Bet. I think it's ESPN Bet's line. I think I have to look at DraftKings. But we're going to use ESPN Bet's line because we have the bracket in front of us here. So Indiana-Notre Dame, this is the 10-7 matchup. Winner's going to play Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. Okay, so this is in Notre Dame, by the way, guys, because of the new 12-team playoff rule. I could see either team winning because Indiana has been good, and yet the one good team they played, they lost in Ohio State, right? And Curtis O'Rourke isn't a bad quarterback. He's pretty good. I won't say great, but he's pretty good. Notre Dame, they lost week 2 to Northern Illinois, and they haven't really been tested a lot since that game in A&M. They haven't been tested. And I just think, when I look at this matchup, I say to myself, something tells me take Indiana plus the 7.5. I don't know what it is, but something is telling me take Indiana plus 7.5. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I don't know. Something is giving me this feeling that Indiana could beat Notre Dame. And this might be the upset that I think could happen. There's a lot of upsets people like from what I've been following. You know what? I like Notre Dame. I like Marcus Freeman. Okay? But when I watch them this year, I don't see a team I think that could go far. I watch Indiana. They're good. I don't think they're great. We're going with the upset. Give me Indiana plus the points. I'm taking Indiana over Notre Dame. I'm not high on this team. I don't really like anybody in this game because I think they're going to lose to Georgia. Spoiler. I think Indiana gets by Notre Dame. I don't know what it is. The more I think about this, the more I'm going, do I trust Riley Leonard and Marcus Freeman in a big game? They haven't given me reason to believe that they're good enough to do it. So give me Indiana upset over Notre Dame and give me the 7.5 too. I'm going to take Indiana to play Georgia. Now, in the Sugar Bowl, I think that Indiana has absolutely no shot against Georgia. No shot. Now, people are going to be like, well, Rich, what if Carson Beck doesn't play? What if Gunnar Stockton plays? I'm not really worried. I'm not really worried. I think Georgia still handles them. Because, listen, guys, Indiana's been a nice Cinderella team. They have been, okay? I just don't think they are good enough to physically hang in with Georgia with that big offensive line. Now, people are going to be like, well, Georgia's defense gave up 30 points to Alabama. Georgia Tech licked them up. Texas even pretty much did a good job. Yeah, but, guys, Ole Miss even lit them up. Indiana, when they played a legit team, they did not play good against Ohio State. Now, are we going to sit here and say Ohio State's defense is better than Georgia? I'll allow people to make the argument of that because Ohio State has that NIL money with that $20 million roster. But again, I just think I don't think they can hang in with that Georgia defensive line and that offensive line. I don't. I think that's the deciding factor in the game. I think they're going to get after Curtis Rourke, and I do think Gunnar Stockton or Carson Beck, depending on if he's going to play. I do like Georgia's skill guys, Dominic Lovett, Trevor Etienne. I think those guys can make enough plays, and I think that Georgia's going to go to the Orange Bowl. I just think that, to me, is the spot that I feel like, you know what? I trust those guys. Give me Georgia to beat Indiana, Georgia to the Orange Bowl. So a recap of the bottom bracket. Indiana, I have upsetting Notre Dame. Give me the 7.5. Georgia will beat Indiana in the Sugar Bowl to go to the Orange Bowl. The other side of that matchup, which is the first game on the 21st, 12 p.m., number 11 SMU takes on number 6 Penn State. All right. I've watched Penn State twice this year. Okay? And they played Oregon tough. They played Ohio State tough. Something is scary with this line. This line smells. 8.5 Penn State is over SMU favorites. So Penn State's 8.5-point favorites against SMU. SMU, I watched a little. They didn't look good in the first half, but boy, second half, they came back, dude. And by the way, I am glad they got in over Alabama. Fuck Alabama bandwagons, bro. Fuck the Bama bandwagons. I'm glad SMU made it in. Good. The committee fucking did right. Good. Good. I don't want Alabama in. So by the way, thank you, College Football Playoff Committee. You got the right team in. Okay? Fuck Alabama. I'm happy for SMU. Okay? But back to the game. I don't know, man. This is a line that smells. Again, am I crazy? Give me SMU plus 8.5. I don't like this. I don't like this. Guys, the thing that scares me, this is a team Penn State should beat. This team is a team Penn State should beat. But I don't know if James Franklin, I trust to win a big game anymore. He has yet to beat a top 10 team. Michigan, Ohio State. The dude has yet to beat a big team in the Big Ten. He sucks against those two teams. And now SMU is playing with house money. They're playing absolutely nothing to lose. Okay? Penn State has a favorable path if they can get by this game. I'm a little scared for Penn State. Because they have been a good team the last couple of years with Franklin, but they have yet to win a big game. And it's in Happy Valley. They got to win this game, dude. Give me SMU plus the 8.5, but I'm going to take Penn State in a close one. I'm going to take Penn State to beat SMU. I don't love this. I wouldn't be shocked if SMU won. But I'm going to ride with Penn State to win this one because I think they just have a little bit. Abdul Carter is a guy the Patriot fans want. I want to watch him closely. I watched him against Oregon. He didn't flash off the screen that much for me. Didn't see a lot. But I've heard he's had a great year. I think if he wrecks the game, I think if that Penn State defense plays to the caliber that I know they can and kind of limits SMU, I think they can hang in there. They're going to need one or two key big stops in the game. And I think that's going to decide this game. But I'm going to trust Penn State. They won't cover, though, against SMU. Give me Penn State over SMU to play Boise State, which is the first game of the second round in the Fiesta Bowl. So Penn State is going to the Fiesta Bowl to play Boise State. Ashton Jeanty, I watched him a little bit. That dude's a problem. Okay? This is going to be a very sneaky good game. All right? I guarantee Penn State would be favored over Boise. I guarantee that. Now, people are going to say to me, Rich, Boise State's only loss is to number 1 in the country. And they lost by 3 in week 2. I know. I told my dad, I said, Dad, these little schools, this is their basic. But Boise's not a little school. But these little conferences, this is their big moment to get on there. It's hard to get these big name opponents because, again, you don't know who's good. You don't know who's that. Boise State, though, dude. I would take Boise plus the points if Penn State's a favorite. I would. Again, I don't know if I could have the guts to take Boise to beat Penn State. I think that defense, though, is going to have an answer for Ashton Jeanty. I don't know why I'm trusting Penn State. I think they're going to beat Boise State, and I think they're going to play Georgia in the Orange Bowl So give me Penn State, Georgia in the Orange Bowl. Now, we should pick the Orange Bowl right now because we're on this side of the bracket. So, again, I'm going to take Georgia to beat Penn State. I would love if Penn State won because they're one of my teams I like. I just don't think Drew Aller can outduel Carson Beck in a big game. I don't. I know people are going to say, well, Georgia's defense isn't all that. I know. But I think Georgia's got enough to do it. Okay? Kirby Smart is a hell of a coach, dude. Okay? I would trust him over Kurt Signetti in a big game. I would trust him over James Franklin in a big game. Give me Kirby Smart and the Bulldogs to beat Penn State in the Orange Bowl, and they're going to go to the national championship in Atlanta. All right. We're going to go to the other side now. We're going to start at the top. Number 12, Clemson, takes on Texas. I know people like Clemson to upset Texas. I know people do. I can't lie. Quinn Ewers has not looked all that. If they had Arch Manning, oh, you damn straight know who I'm taking. And it's not even close. But I need to know one thing in this game that's important. Is Kelvin Banks Jr. playing for Texas? You want to know why I need to know? Because he's the starting left tackle for the Longhorns. This dude is a guy I want the Patriots to look at because we need a left tackle. Kelvin Banks is a pretty damn good player. I want to see if he plays. If he doesn't play, I'm a little weary. Okay? I don't know if I would take 11-point favorites with Texas. Because, again, Kelvin Banks is that big of a piece for Texas. However, though, Clemson's playing with house money. They just won the ACC. Dabo knows how to win big games. Cade Klubnik's playing really good lately. But the last time Clemson played an SEC team, it didn't go so well. Top to bottom, Texas has the best roster out of these two teams. Can Sark outcoach Dabo? That's the question they need to see. And Dabo Swinney has not been great with the transfer portal. NIL era, okay. He's been okay. Sark is a guy I root for. I like the guy a lot. I'm a little scared for them in this matchup. Right now, if you made me pick, I would take Clemson plus 11. If Kelvin Banks played, I wouldn't touch the point spread. Right now, if you asked me, I would take Clemson. Or the 11. But I'm going to take Texas. Because I think they have the most favorable path of everybody in the college football playoff. Maybe Georgia, too. Texas and Georgia have the favorable paths. Give me Texas to beat Clemson. So now I got Texas in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl against Arizona State. I'm not going to lie. I'd like Texas to beat Arizona State. Because Cam Scatterbo, I know he's having an amazing season. I know. If it wasn't for Ashton Genty, he'd be right there for like one of the best running backs in college football. I think he is one of the best running backs in college football. But I don't know if they can run to the level of success that they had against Texas. I don't know if they're going to be able to. Okay, the Big 12, there's a jump from the competition in the Big 12 to the SEC. Give me Texas to beat Arizona State. I just think that, again, I'm looking at this game and I'm saying to myself, Texas should win. So I got Texas in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. We go to the last game of the first round. Tennessee at Ohio State. Ohio State is 7-point favorites to Tennessee. Now, I would love if Ryan Day lost in the first round. And Ohio State has to find a way to figure out, do we get rid of him or do we keep him? After losing to their arch rival Michigan by 3. And now they want to make a fucking fly planting law in Ohio that bans fly planting. Give me a fucking break. Ugh. Now you see why I hate this shit. They're taking away my fucking fun and rivalry weekend in college football, bro. Stop being snowflakes. Bro, you see why I hate this team? Why? I want Tennessee to win so bad. I do. I just don't trust Nico Amalavia. I don't trust him. I don't trust him. I watched him. This dude misses open throws, and I'm like, yeah, that's alarming. I don't like him. I think Ohio State's going to win non-biasedly. I think James Pierce, again, he's going to be fun to watch. I got a lot of guys I want to watch in this game. I just think Ohio State's just going to beat Nico Amalavia, and Josh Heupel's going to get outcoached by Ryan Day. And I think that they really want the Ohio State-Oregon rematch from early in the year, which I did watch that game. That was a great game, by the way. Dude, Tennessee, I want you guys to win so bad. I just don't think it's going to happen. Give me Ohio State to beat Tennessee. So now I got Ohio State and Oregon in the Rose Bowl. The old school Pac-12 Big Ten Rose Bowl. Dude, and it's on the Granddaddy of them all. It's at the Rose Bowl. Oh my God. Dude. They could not have picked a better game for the Rose Bowl, bro. Oh, but Oregon's got screwed. Dude. Oh, they should have the easiest path. Dude. Stop. I don't want to hear it. I love it. Okay? I don't know if I love the matchup for Oregon off the bat, though, because, again, they're going to be playing with a lot of pressure now. All right? Can Dan Lanning do it twice against Ryan Day in a big game? Ohio State's got the roster to match up with Oregon. But Will Howard's the key. And he was the key in that first matchup. He really did look okay. But, again, I don't know if I trust him in this game over Dylan Gabriel. I watched Oregon, guys, like twice against Penn State and against Ohio State. And he lit it up, dude. Like, that offense is explosive. Don't be shocked if Ohio State beats them. Do not be shocked, because I think they have a legit chance to do it. They were right there, toe-to-toe with them. But I'm gonna take Oregon to beat Ohio State, because I can't trust Will Howard in a game with a lot at stake over Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel and that offense, if Oregon's gonna light up 30 points on them easily, they're going to. Okay? If they lit up 45 on Penn State and lit up 32 against them, Oregon's gonna light it up on Ohio State again. And I don't see how anybody's got like the legit defense to slow them down. Give me Oregon to play Texas in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Okay, now, Oregon, Texas. This is basically a home game for Texas. Okay? This is. Again, do I love this game for Oregon to go to Texas, really, and play a Texas home game? They're one of the teams that can overcome it. But at the end of the day, do I trust Dylan Gabriel or do I trust Quinn Ewers? And after watching Quinn Ewers last Saturday against Georgia, my answer's leaning no. So I'm going to go with Oregon to beat Texas and play Georgia in the national championship game. So, yes, Rich, you have the favorites. You're 1-2. Oh, what happened to the upsets? I said I would have a lot for you first round. I told you there's some legit upsets. My opinion, I'm giving the bracket. I want Texas to beat Oregon. I do. I just don't think that their secondary can cover those guys. I don't. I think they could give them a sweat. I do. But I don't think they could. I don't trust Quinn Ewers over Dylan Gabriel. I don't. Now, Oregon to play Georgia. Kirby Smart destroyed Dan Lanning the first time that these two guys met up. That happened to be Dan Lanning's first game as Oregon's head coach. But I don't know why. I think Georgia could slow down Oregon. What? Rich, they freaking gave up 30 points against Bama. You could score on them. Ole Miss even scored on them. Georgia Tech even scored on them. I know. But something just tells me Oregon is going to get stopped a couple times in this game. And don't get me wrong, I want Oregon to lose to Texas. I do. I don't think they will. But I think Georgia wins it all. I don't know why. It has this feeling that, like, Gunnar Stockton brought a life into this offense where he had those runs. Trevor Etienne, they could run okay. That offensive line's big. I think their defense, Michael Williams, okay, Carter, not the Jalen Carter from the Eagles. There's a guy named Carter on the outside. Why is his first name drawing a blank? I don't know why. But I just think Malachi Starks is really good. Dylan Everett, he's really good. Okay. I just feel like that Georgia has the answers to beat Oregon. And I just don't trust Dan Lanning in a big game that, to me, like, if you're playing somebody that knows them, like Washington, I knew they would beat Oregon last year because Dan Lanning would just, like, find a way to just give the game away. And I just feel like, you know what? You might do it against Kirby, and Kirby's like, okay, you're going to give me the game? Well, we're going to take it. Georgia wins the national championship, I think. Now, there's a difference between who I think is going to win and who I want to win. Now, if you're asking me, Rich, who would you like to win the national championship personally? I would like Texas. I root for Penn State. I just don't want Ohio State to win. Okay? I don't want Ohio State to win. Georgia, I don't have issue with. I know they've been really good. But again, your boy's trying to find an arch rival that he doesn't like. I don't have any issues with Georgia because they've got some good players that I like that went to the NFL, dude. Okay? So it's like, do I got beef? No. So, to me, if it's Texas or if it's Penn State, hey, I'm happy. Oregon, I won't have an issue if they win because, again, they've been a team that's really close to winning it all. I just don't think that they're going to win it all because I think just something's going to get in the way. That's my opinion. So, Georgia defeats Oregon in the national championship, and they become they have the third national championships of the decade, and they become the team of the decade in college football, the number one standard in college football that everybody's got to look at. Give me Georgia to beat Oregon. So, those are my picks for the college football playoff bracket. Now, we did not do the NFL recaps. Now, to be honest with you guys, I didn't really watch the early games because your boy had to cover a Rider women's basketball game against Fairleigh Dickinson. So I did pay attention a little bit to some games. I did see a little bit of the. I didn't see a lot of the Eagles game. I heard about this, which is where I'm actually going to start because I did not know until 2 or 3 days ago. They had the second worst passing attack in all of football. Go look it up. It's actually a real stat. I did not know this. This is actually concerning for me because I thought Kellen Moore would help this passing game with what he was doing in Dallas, and to see it's 31st in the league and you've got 4 games left, I'm a little worried because I'm looking at those defenses in the NFC. The Lions, they look shaky at times, I know, but they're going to give you a game. Green Bay. I know they lost to them game one. I know they beat them game one. Green Bay lost to them, I meant. But you're a better team than what you were week one. Week one was a feel-out week, okay? I think Green Bay's a better team than what they were week one. I'm not saying they're going to, like, complete... I think Green Bay has a chance to beat Philly. I do. But I just don't think that Philly would beat Green Bay easily. I don't. Minnesota, I think Flores could blitz up certain schemes to kind of get Hurts to to rush some of his throws. But again, I don't know if that defense could stop A.J. Brown and stop Devontae Smith and Goddard. I don't know if they could, because that offensive line is really good. But I also just don't trust Sam Darnold in a big game against a team that's better than him, arguably. And I know Minnesota's got the same record as the Eagles. I just don't trust them completely. I like O'Connell as a coach. I think he's doing a tremendous job. Just don't know if I trust Minnesota over the Eagles. There's 3 teams in the NFC I trust. Potentially 4, which we're going to get to in a little bit. Detroit, Philadelphia, and Green Bay. One more starting to creep up in there. Because I think if they get the right matchup in the first round of the playoffs, they're going to have a field day. I think you guys know I'm hinting. But the real reason we're talking about the Eagles is because A.J. Brown went to the media and he was not happy about the Eagles' flow on offense. And he said passing was their biggest weakness. And that's not a good sign that you're kind of putting all that blame on Jalen Hurts. What made it worse was Brandon Graham said that that Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown are not really on friendly terms anymore. And I'm going, uh-oh, they're imploding. And I sent a friend of mine who's an Eagles fan this, and I'm going, uh-oh, this is not good. And it brought him to deja vu of last year when this team was imploding. And we talked about it in the Yammer. We did. But I think the difference is, I think this offense is going to be fine. Saquon Barkley, they're going to run, but the thing is going to be, the test is, do you trust A.J. Brown to beat double coverage? Absolutely. Do I trust Devontae Smith to win one-on-one against most corners in the league? Absolutely. Dallas Goedert's a good tight end. Okay? Kellen Moore is not a bad passing game coordinator as far as like drawing up ways to get those 2 guys open. I don't think he is. I think, again, if they get the 1 seed, that will actually be a strength to them getting the bye. The question I have for the Eagles is going to be, does Nick Sirianni get in the way of them going far? And I think he's going to at some point. The defense is way better than what it was last year at any point. Last year, we were saying that defense was bad. Whether it was Sean Desai or Matt Patricia. No, that defense is really good. And they can get it done. The problem is, can that offense get it done? That's where we didn't expect the question marks. And right now, I think they're good enough to get to the championship game. I don't think they're going to win it all, though. They're going to have a shot, but I don't think they would be my pick. Because I look at the Eagles and I say, yeah, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith. They've got dudes like Cooper DeJean in the secondary. Gardner Johnson's there. They're good players. I just don't see that offense fixing the passing game enough. And I feel like a really good team will say, key on 26 wherever he goes. And I think that's going to be the problem. When Barkley gets taken out of the game and they first force Hurts to beat him, he can do it, but he hasn't been able to when they've lost those 2 games. Tampa, nope, didn't do well. Atlanta, they should have beat Atlanta, but didn't, because Sirianni decided to throw Barkley open in the flat and dropped it when you should just be using clock to your advantage. You really trust Kirk Cousins to go down the field and beat you on a score? I don't. But Philly, listen, they got a tough one against Pittsburgh this week. Very concerning signs offensively. Defensively, complete 360 from last year. Complete 360 from last year. So that's one game I want to talk about. But that's not the distractions you need. And I feel like that's a little alarming. All right. I want to talk about the Bills-Rams because this was a game that I arguably, and I think this is game of the year potential. I really do. This was a fantastic game, start to finish. I also want to give a special shout out in this game. I know it's not me, but Josh Allen. I hate that this man is in my division. But I can't help but like him. The more and more I'm watching him, the more and more I'm going, I like him. I like him. He's not somebody that, like, cries to the refs about calls, unlike somebody else. He doesn't have anything that makes me hate him except the fact that he's in my division. He gives me no ammo to, like, hate him with it. I'm like, fuck, this guy keeps beating us twice. Although we did get the best of him last year one time. That's the only thing I got to brag about, okay? I say it. The man literally had 2 games against us where he didn't punt, and he killed us twice in like 5 weeks. But I got to tip my cap to him because the guy literally played great, and he figured us out. And that's what got Bill out of there, partially. They passed us so bad in the division. But this man got me 52 fantasy points. 52 fantasy points. The man got me a buy in fantasy. Thank you. Cooper Kupp. Thank you. All right. Because that got me the buy in fantasy. 11-3, by the way. Pretty damn good record. Close to that 1 seed. Just couldn't beat the kid twice because team stunk up the recent time, and then the one before, certain guys sold. But Josh Allen got me 52 fantasy points. To me, now, you guys know great fantasy performances. Okay, I remember when Jamal Charles, I think, had like 56, I want to say, against the Raiders, right? Didn't he have like 56 fantasy points against the Raiders in 2013? Devon Achane, didn't he have like 70 last year against Miami? Like, didn't he have like 70 fantasy points or something like that? Like, he had a record. And that was wild. That was actually like insane. But this was the greatest fantasy quarterback performance I ever saw with my own 2 eyes. Before that, I remember quarterbacks getting like 38, 35, 34, sometimes 32, 33. I don't remember them ever getting past 38 as far as a fantasy number ever in all my life. This was the first time I saw a guy drop over 40, and I'm going, oh my God. And every time he scored, I'm like, he has a chance to get 40. He has a chance to get 45. He has a chance to get 50. And then he got me 52, and I'm like, he got it. He got it. And I won. And I'm like, that was the greatest fantasy quarterback performance I have ever seen with my own 2 eyes. And I'm like, wow. So Josh Allen, thank you for winning me in fantasy and getting me a bye. I just need you to deliver through in the playoffs. You definitely deserve to still be MVP because that game should not be an indictment as to why you don't win the MVP. Sean McDermott, once again, sucks in late game situations. He gets so tense and panicky. He does it again. We had a conversation on the Yammer between 2 Bills fans. That was actually a pretty good discussion. I actually enjoyed it. But Josh Allen, if you don't think he should be the MVP, I don't know what you're watching. But that man should be the MVP. To the LA Rams. I told you don't count this team out with Sean McVay. I didn't count. I was getting nervous because I didn't like what I saw defensively. That offensive line was getting a little worrisome. But let me tell you something. That offense, I said, they are explosive. Cooper Kupp, Nakua, Kyron Williams, Demarcus Robinson. These dudes are fucking ballers. And Sean McVay is one of those coaches, I'm telling people right now, I'm never betting against him. I'm never betting against. I said, I kind of like the Rams, man, in this situation. Okay, I took the Bills because I thought it would be high scoring. But I still think that Sean McVay is a guy I just won't bet against. I'm either just going to fucking pick the team that I like, but I'm not going to bet that side. I'm just going to sit back and watch, bet the over, because that team could score. Okay? That team, oh my God, they're so fucking awesome, man. I mean, seriously, like, he has a Super Bowl championship. This man, guys, This man started off slow last year. They went 7-1 the rest of the way. Okay? This man can coach. All right? And I'm telling you right now, I'm not all big on Seattle. I'm not. I don't think Seattle's all that. I think the Rams can win the NFC West. I do. Because now they beat the Niners on Thursday night, which, if they beat them in the rain, and they can win in a dome, the only thing that's stopping that team is cold weather. That's it. Now, if you get that home game in LA with the dome and the warm weather, good luck trying to stop that offense. Bills got shredded. They got some young dudes on defense that are good. Jared Verse, the defensive tackle is pretty good. Okay? They got dudes, man. The Rams got some dudes that are good. But that offense, Puka Nacua, the season he's having, oh my God. If that dude just stays healthy, Cooper Kupp's going to be a 2, and Nakua's going to be that number 1 guy. But Sean McVay, the way he gets those 2 guys open, oh my Lord. Puka Nacua, I mean, wow. I didn't think he'd be on this tear. But, wow. Yeah. The Rams, I think they're going to win the NFC West. I'm not ruling this team out no more. If they don't make the playoffs, I tip my cap and say, all right, they didn't do it. But I'm not ruling that team out anymore. Sean McVay, that dude, he's in my top 5 of head coaches right now. I mean, I can't put him ahead of Andy Reid because Andy Reid's got 3 championships, right? Tomlin, they both have a Super Bowl ring, right? But Mike Tomlin hasn't had a losing season in 17 years. Both are 1-1 in the Super Bowl. It's getting close because Tomlin hasn't won in a long time. I don't know if I could do that. And I really like this man. I really do. Oh, why do I gotta pick this, man? Why do I do this to myself, man? You know what? I can't do it yet. He's close. He's gaining traction because Tomlin hasn't won in a long time in the playoffs. But I can't forget what Mike Tomlin did with those Steelers teams early in his career. I know they were mostly Cowers guys, but that man has no losing seasons. That's got to be a big factor. All right. I'm definitely taking him over John Harbaugh. I am. I like John Harbaugh. He's won a Super Bowl as well. I know. Sean McVay, gimme. I don't like what John Harbaugh's doing recently. I don't. I think John Harbaugh's crumbling in big games. All right? Sean McVay, I think, is doing the opposite. I think Sean McVay's doing a good job in big games. I have to take him over Jim Harbaugh in the NFL right now, but I don't forget what Jim Harbaugh did with the Niners. I know. But Sean McVay has the Super Bowl championship. That matters. I made fun of Matt LaFleur. I did when I had Aaron Rodgers. I called him a puppet, okay? But nah, give me Sean McVay. O'Connell, I like. Sean McVay, give me. Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay. Sean Payton, I like Sean McVay a little more. So, I got Sean McVay in my top 3. I think he's that good. I could arguably say he has a case to be the second best coach in football behind Mike Tomlin because I can't go against Mike Tomlin with those losing seasons. However, if he doesn't win in the playoffs, I'm going to start to say, I got to start thinking about this. Sean McVay is the third best coach in football. So, could be 2. Yeah. That's how much respect I have for him. Okay? I don't want to talk about them, but they're going to make me talk about them. I swear the NFL is watching secretly on this show, and they're like, what more do we need to do to irritate Rich? Oh, let's talk about the bandwagons. So, I watched a little bit of this game. I was actually working on a sports report that I had to do that morning. And I was peeking at the game, and I was like, this game's not going to be all that. I just didn't have faith in the Chargers to do it. So once I seen they scored before half, I'm like, yep, game over. Fuck, they're going to win again. So I get the Juan Soto free agency news. My last story in the sports report, I write that down. Finish the sports report. After I finish, I look at the score on ESPN. It's 14-13 Chargers. I'm like, what? I'm like, they tie. I'm like, they're up. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta fucking go back and watch the game. I'm texting my family friend Johan. I woke him up because he was sleeping. I'm sorry, Johan. Please forgive me. You were Loungetime's #1 fan, okay? I'm sorry I woke you up during your sleep, okay? I did not think the Chargers would actually take the lead at the way they were playing in the first half. Forgive me, Johan. But I watched the fourth quarter. Damn it, they baited me like a fish in the middle of the ocean. Damn it, they baited me. Because what happens when I turn the game on? They kick a field goal to go up 1. And they left them 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And I'm going, not this again. You gave them time. I'm like, no. And then I have to hear Chris Collinsworth sound like he's jerking off and like drooling and glazing over this man. And I'm like, bruh. He just didn't do anything fancy. Oh my God, he evaded a sack. I mean, that's just Patrick Mahomes. Bro, he didn't make that big of a break sack, dude. There's been way better ones. You ever watch Randall Cunningham? You ever watch Cam Newton? Those are great examples of breaking sacks. Lamar Jackson did way better plays of avoiding sacks than Mahomes did on the run. Stop. It's not funny. It's a nauseating thing. Go put a fucking romper and fucking pom-poms and start freaking cheerleading on the sidelines, Chris Collinsworth. It's so fucking irritating. God, the glazing. And then the fucking bandwagons on Twitter. Oh, even when we're playing so poorly, they can't fucking stop us. I didn't watch the end of the game. I heard they got a fucking double doink. And it still went in, and I'm like... And my buddy texts me and goes, of course that happens to them. And you know what I said to him? I said, of course it does. I knew not to watch because I'm like, it always happens. I wave the white flag. I surrender. You got the 1 seed. Congratulations. I'm waving the white flag. I don't care if it's a napkin. Avoid that. I'm waving the white flag. Congratulations, bandwagons. You got the 1 seed when you're not even that good. The league is on your side. The odds of them getting a three-peat are going up. The air in the balloon of those fucking nauseating bandwagons have become so annoying. They're becoming like those annoying Airheads commercials. You ever remember those? That's what those cheap bandwagons are. When you give them gas and you give them air in the fucking balloon, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Do you ever, y'all remember the Jimmy Neutron episode when they had fucking Sheen's head get big and it's like his brain and shit? Yes, I remember that episode. That was a fucking show in my childhood fucking thing. Yes, I do remember. Okay, yes, Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. That was one of my favorite shows when I was watching it. Yes, I'm not that old. Okay, but I do remember that show growing up as a kid. Okay. That's what the fucking bandwagons remind me of. And god damn it, every time they get up, man, they just make new ways to win and they fucking make me miserable. I can't get one more time to gloat. I want them to lose. I want to be happy. I need a fucking game where they lose in the playoffs and I'm like, finally, they fucking lose. Justice is served. Somebody else can fucking finally host the Lombardi. I just don't want it to be them because the fucking media wants to anoint this kid better than Tom Brady, and I don't want to entertain none of those conversations. We've said it numerous times. I don't need to go there. But I waved the white flag. Congratulations. You got the 1 seed. Times where I didn't think you would get it. You're going to destroy Jameis Winston in Cleveland. You're going to beat fucking probably Houston because Texans don't look good, who I thought that could beat them. In Steelers, you might wrap the 1 seed up. Either way, you'll lose. It won't even matter because, we didn't play our starters when we needed to because we got the 1 seed. And in Denver, you're going to lose in Denver, but it won't matter because you're going to be like, we just worry about health. And then you're probably going to play a combo of the Texans again, the Ravens, the Chargers, and the Broncos. And you are going to beat all 4 of those teams. I would say if the Texans did end up being the lower seeds, I would like them more to give them a game. I just don't like the way they're playing right now. Which leaves me to Baltimore. Which leaves me not to Baltimore, Buffalo or Pittsburgh in the AFC Championship game. And again, do I trust Pittsburgh to go into Arrowhead and beat Kansas City? No. Do I trust Buffalo to do it? I mean, they've done it in the regular season. They just can't do it in the postseason because they're fucking cursed. They're fucking cursed. So my only hope comes down to the NFC. The Lions, Green Bay. Hell, I'll fucking root for the Eagles again. I don't care. I'll even root for the Rams if the Rams get there. I just don't want the bandwagons winning because then my fucking offseason's going to be miserable and I'm going to be like, why me? That's what it's going to be. I really need to stay off Twitter, but I have to give the Twitter picks to people what they want. And I have to give you guys content. But fuck the bandwagons, dude. Chargers, you have no passing game. I know Ladd McConkey was out. I don't care. Yeah, it's not a good sign that their passing game struggles. They're going to be a first-round team. I don't think they're going to do much. So I don't think they're going to be all that. Rams-Niners in the rain. I don't think there's really a lot to kind of add. I mean, the Rams just didn't really have a great offensive game. But, again, Kyrie Williams, they were able to run the ball. Stafford didn't really throw a lot. But, again, weather, you got to just be smart in managing through the elements. And that's exactly what they did. And I'll tell you what, the Niners, they're done, dude. This team never looked the same, really, in the beginning of the year. I thought middle of the year they could maybe figure things out with Shanahan. They have not figured it out. And you know what? They're in trouble, dude. They're in trouble. There's going to be some big cuts, I think, happening for them in the offseason. I think Debo might be done. They paid Ayuk a ton of money, so Debo's gone. I don't know what they're going to do with McCaffrey. They got to make a decision on Purdy. Trent Williams is getting up there in age. Yo, they're in trouble. They are in trouble. They paid Warner. They paid Bosa. They're in trouble. There's some major guys getting cut soon for San Francisco. Their window is officially closed. There's a short recap. All right, we're going to go into NFL guarantees now because we're going a little further on, so we're going to make this rapid fast. Chiefs take on the Browns in Cleveland. You really trust me to get Jameis Winston to beat the Chiefs? Yeah, funny. Give me the bandwagons. I think the bandwagons win. Can they get? Well, yeah, the bandwagons can get to 30. But I don't know. They've been limping a little bit each and every week. I'm gonna take the Chiefs to win 23-20 over the Browns. Again, I just don't think that. I don't think the Browns can beat them, and that they're gonna keep getting bailed by the refs as long as they want. So, give me the Chiefs to win 23-20, and just barely goes under. That's how accurate my thing is. Bengals take on the Titans in Tennessee. Bengals are 5.5-point favorites. The over and under is at 46.5 according to ESPN Bet. Take the over. I like Cincinnati to win 31-30. You know what? 31-21. I think the Bengals can score 30 on the Titans. I think the Titans will get 21 at least on the Bengals defense. I just don't like the way that this Bengals defense is playing, but I think their offense can score. I think they'll get a win. 31-21 over the Titans. Commanders Saints. Marshall Lattimore is playing his old team back in New Orleans. Washington is 7.5-point favorites in New Orleans. The over and under is listed at 43.5. Derek Carr is not playing. And I just seen the Saints backup's name, and why is it drawing a blank for me? Let me get that for you guys because that's actually a big deal because that's big when a backup quarterback is there. Jake Haener is going to start. So, I like Washington to win. I think Washington, Daniels off the bye. I think they can get to 27. I think the Saints get 19. I just don't trust the Saints to score enough to stay in it with Washington. Washington's been average on the road. Saints have been average at home. Give me Washington 27-19 over the New Orleans Saints. Ravens take on the Giants. The Ravens are 16-point favorites. The over and under is at 42.5. Oh my God. Wow. So you all know y'all are going to suck when the Ravens are giving 16-point favorites and you're 16-point underdogs. Yeah, y'all are tanking. You're 0-7 at home. But Lamar, Derrick Henry are going to run wild on him. I think Lamar has a field day. I'm going 34-13 Ravens beat the Giants. I don't think this game is... They may get one garbage time on the end. I don't see a single bit how this game is going to be any bit close. So give me the Ravens 34-13 over the Giants. Cowboys at the Panthers. The Panthers are favorites for the first time since 2022. Wow. And call me crazy. I was actually going to take them before the line came out. I'm going to take the Panthers to beat the Cowboys because I just don't trust the Cowboys defense. I like the way Carolina's been playing since Bryce Young came back from being benched. I think that the Cowboys have some serious questions on defense. I think Carolina has been playing really good, tough games against teams like Philadelphia, Kansas City that have been Super Bowl contending teams. Tampa, they played tough, who's a really good team, by the way. Give me the Panthers. Give me the Panthers 31-23 over the Cowboys. I just think Carolina is playing really good ball. Cowboys, they can't stop a cold on defense. 31-23 Panthers over the Cowboys. Jets, Jaguars. Jets are 3.5-point favorites. Over and under is 40.5. Yeah, give me Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Because, no, they're not going to get the quarterback they want. So, Underfest, give me 20-16. This game's garbage. That's where I'm going to be at. Dolphins at the Texans. Texans are 3-point favorites. Over and under is at 46.5. Take the over. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I've got the Texans winning 37-31 over the Dolphins. Could be an overtime. I think they're going to light it up, both teams. I don't think anybody's defense is really that great in this. I think 37-31, I could see both teams lighting it up and potentially an overtime walk-off touchdown. So I'm going 37-31 Texans to beat the Dolphins. All right, 4 o'clock games. Colts go to Denver. Denver's 5.5-point favorites. The over and under is listed at 44.5. Give me Denver. I like Denver to win 24-14 over the Colts. I just don't think the Colts are going to be that good in this game. 54 degrees in Mile High. Anthony Richardson, I think he's going to get tired in a game. And I feel like that, you know what? They're going to clamp Jonathan Taylor, force Anthony Richardson to beat him. I think Surtain's going to take the number 1 receiver on the Colts. And I think Denver's going to have their way. 24-14. Broncos beat the Colts. Bills-Lions. Detroit, 2.5-point favorites. Over and under is at 54.5. I did not like the way the Bills' defense looked. I'm going to take the Bills in this game because I'm a little weary with the Lions limping past Chicago, limping past Green Bay. I know people are like, they're playing great ball. I know. But I got a feeling they're going to lose this game. I do. Buffalo needs this game to stay in the 1 seed. And if they lose, Pittsburgh gets ahead of them with the 2 seed. And I don't think they want to have to go to Pittsburgh for round 2 in the playoffs. So, I think Buffalo wins. I think Buffalo's going to win 38-34, another high-scoring shootout. 38-34, Bills beat the Lions. Josh Allen continues to make his MVP case. Steelers at the Eagles. Eagles are 5.5-point favorites at home. Over and under is at 43.5. I'm betting with Mike Tomlin. I've done it a lot this year. Eagles have been riding high. They've been winning 9 straight. At some point, that winning streak is going to end. And I think that the distractions are going to get the best of this team. Mike Tomlin is seeing, okay, George Pickens is out. What's our best way to kind of beat the Eagles? We got to try to run Najee Harris up on them. And then try to get somebody like Calvin Austin. I just don't like their receivers. Fryman's been playing pretty good since they've given him the ball a lot more. I kind of like the under in this game, too. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh to win. Pittsburgh's going to win, I think, 19-16. I think this is going to be an under game. This game smells, but I think it's going to be a really competitive game. I think they kind of limit Saquon a little bit. 19-16 Steelers over the Eagles. Patriots-Cardinals. Cardinals are 6-point favorites. Over and unders at 46.5. Done picking my team. Tank for Travis Hunter. Cardinals win. I'm going to go 30-23. Cardinals beat the Patriots because I don't trust that the defense is going to hold up and stop Marvin Harrison Jr. I love Gonzo. I think he's going to have a good game against him. But knowing my luck, New England's going to suck. We're going to be tanking for Travis Hunter. So 30-23, Cardinals beat the Patriots. Bucks at the Chargers. Chargers are 3-point favorites. Over and unders at 45.5. Shake and bake, Baker Mayfield. Give me 3 with Tampa. I love this. I like the way Tampa's playing. I really do. I didn't want to rule them out after the injuries. Evans is back. Godwin being out hurts. They might sign Odell Beckham. I wouldn't mind that for them as a 2, if he could get his ego in check. But Tampa, Baker Mayfield, I really like the way they're playing football. And I think that Baker Mayfield, I trust more to get the job done over the Chargers, who I don't think have a good passing game. Tampa Bay, 24-17 over the Chargers. Give me Tampa. Green Bay at Seattle. Green Bay is 2.5-point favorites. Over and unders at 45.5. Oh. I'm going to take Green Bay to win. 26-17. I don't trust Seattle with Geno. I don't trust them. I think that Seattle has looked all right. I know Jordan Love is 14 touchdowns, 12 picks. I just don't trust Seattle's defense. I just don't. I think they look very average. And I feel like, you know what? They're going to look all right. So, give me Green Bay 26-17 over Seattle. Josh Jacobs has another big game. Bears at the Vikings. Vikings are 7-point favorites. Over and unders at 43.5. I kind of want to take the over, but the Bears look awful against the Niners. And again, I don't know how they're going to answer with Brian Flores. So I'm going to take the Vikings to win 23-13 over the Bears. I'm not going to take the over because I don't know what the Bears are going to look like with Caleb Williams. But I think Kevin O'Connell schemes his way in, finds a way to get Aaron Jones over 100 rushing yards on the season. And I feel like that Jay Jetta, he'll get in the end zone. 23-13, Vikings beat the Bears. Falcons at the Raiders. Falcons are 4-point favorites. Over and unders at 44.5. You've got Aiden O'Connell banged up. You've got Minshew banged up. I wanted to take this as an upset. I wanted to. And I could low-key see this. People are like, what? You're the Raiders. Rich, you hate them. But how are they going to stop Bijan Robinson? How? How are they going to stop him, dude? Atlanta, 27-13 over the Raiders. Raiders are not going to score much. 27-13, Kirk Cousins gets right. Falcons win 27-13. All right, let's review the NFL guarantees real fast. So, nothing for Chiefs Browns. Not touching that. Bengals Titans over 46.5. That game's going over. Panthers money line to beat the Cowboys. Over 46.5. Dolphins Texans. Over 54.5. Bills Lions. And give me Buffalo plus 2.5. Pittsburgh plus 5.5. Under 43.5. Steelers Eagles. Tampa Bay, give me the 3. That's my picks. Guarantee. Woo! That's right, baby. That's my guarantees. We are going to stay rolling. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Loungetime. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell. Make sure you guys give us a subscribe button, a like. That way you guys can get all of the latest content for Loungetime. We are approaching the postseason. I am going to line up some guests. Okay, I know Johan wants to stop by. I know Cousin Nikki potentially might be here. I got some buddies that want to hop on the show. We're going to work that all out, okay? We've got a lineup that is going to be exciting for the playoffs. Okay, I'm trying to get my man Rabal Alawar and Louis. He's flaking. He's scared of the intimidation of the man cave. But you know what? I'm going to get him on. We're going to work something out. But we are going to have some guests for the postseason content. You do not want to miss it. Plus, I'm looking to add some college basketball into the show after football ends because I want to talk March Madness for once with you guys. I'm looking to maybe do a little free agency preview with NFL maybe at some point. But it's a little hard because of the fact we don't know who's going to be where. But you don't want to miss out because there's going to be some college basketball hinting on the show. Not Rider Women's Basketball. I cover them. I'm not doing it here because I don't want to do it on my show. I want to pick what I want. So, you guys can also follow me at Loungetime Pod on X. I deliver Thursday night football picks. We're only down to 2 more games. And that's it. We got no more Thursday night football after that. But you can tweet me. I'll talk about any topic you want on the show. Feel free. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Loungetime. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys next week on the next episode of Loungetime. Have a great football weekend, everyone.